Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. People get headaches from time to time, but is yours a 20-something female college student? Today in the rLounge, you can't take ibuprofen for this headache. Twin sister fed me with sleeping pills to humiliate me. I exposed her in college and to my parents. I'm 20 female and have just started college with my identical twin, July, 20 female, in business administration. Needless to say, we have always been together as we are twins. Our parents ensured that we did everything together. You know how parents are of twin children. They want us to twin in everything: clothes, bags, accessories, schools, and even college. We have been pretty close like normal siblings, but in the past few months, things have been very weird and creepy between us. It all started 2 months ago when we started our freshman year and got into the same college. We were so happy and excited as, since childhood, we had done everything together, and going to the same college was one of the things on our bucket list, but I still had no idea what had changed overnight. I remember until we were leaving home for the dorm, things were good between us. Before dinner, we packed our clothes and things needed for college, and that time, too, she was pretty normal, and after dinner, we went to our beds. The next morning, we woke up and had a shower. When I came back to my room, I couldn't find the dress which I decided to wear. Then July came to my room wearing that dress, and I told her that I was going to wear it. I had no problem with her wearing my dress. We are sisters after all, but the way she responded to that was very shocking. She said, "You're delighted to go to your dream college. Can't I just be happy to wear the pretty dress?" I asked her what she meant. She said nothing and barged out of the room. It was weird because July was never rude to me. I ignored her behavior, thinking maybe it was due to the stress of leaving the house and settling into a new place. July is someone who doesn't like change in her life. In the car, when Mom and Dad were going to drop us off, she was not talking to me the way she used to, but half of the time she was making fun of me and talking about insecurities in front of Mom and Dad. I asked her to stop because it was something I was not comfortable sharing with Mom and Dad. We reached our hostel room and put our things in place, and here she was all excited and very loving. She hugged me and kissed my cheeks, and we had so much fun together. Then our roommate Kate came in. We gave our brief introduction, and she was pretty nice and fun to be around. We had so much fun all night. The next morning, we had our first economics class. I woke up and saw July already left for the class, and I was the only person left in my room. My head was hurting so much, but I didn't understand why. I immediately stood up and managed to get myself ready. I reached my classroom 5 minutes late without breakfast, and my head was still pounding. I saw July sitting in the front row. I was very embarrassed and mad at the same time. July didn't wake me up, and I got a warning from my professor. It ruined my image in front of everyone. After the classes ended, I headed towards July and asked her angrily why she didn't wake me up. July held my hand and said that my head was burning and she thought I had a fever, so she didn't wake me up and left to take a rest. I took a sigh and hugged her, and I felt guilty for doubting my sister. My next class was after 1 hour, and we had a free period, so I decided to go to the canteen to have my stomach filled. I saw Kate sitting there and she waved at me. I went to sit next to her, and the three of us together ordered coffee and other stuff to eat. We were talking and having fun, then suddenly July said something which made me very anxious. She took my hand and rolled the sleeve of my t-shirt and said how hairy I was in front of Kate and laughed. She was again making fun of me, but Kate didn't laugh and asked July to stop making me embarrassed in front of everyone. The smile from July's face faded, and she immediately apologized and left to buy donuts. After she left, Kate looked at me and said that my sister was pretty weird, to which I asked her why, and she asked me why she always tried putting me down in front of everyone before I could say anything. July came back, and we immediately changed the topic. I headed towards my next French class, and there was only one seat left next to a guy. I immediately grabbed that seat, and he looked at me and asked why I hadn't told him earlier that we had French together. I was so confused, and I hadn't met him before. Then I realized he might be thinking of me as July, and I corrected him by telling him that he might have met my identical twin sister. We chit-chatted, and he told me his name was Jacob. After our class, he asked me if I could join him for a coffee, and I immediately said yes. We were heading towards the cafe and saw July. She looked at Jacob, hugged him tightly, and asked him what he was doing there, to which Jacob replied that he was going to have coffee with me. Her face changed, and she looked pissed. She looked at me and said, "Oh, Rose doesn't like coffee. She gets an upset stomach all the time and laughs." She held his arms and took him inside, leaving me at the door, and I felt an ache in my heart, not knowing why my sister was treating me like that. That was the first day of my college, and that's how my sister pledged to ruin it. Days passed, and my headache kept on increasing day by day since the day college started. I barely managed to get to my class on time. Every time I asked July why she didn't wake me up, and she always replied to me with different excuses, and Kate was always pissed about that. One night, July was busy partying with her friends, and I had a pretty bad headache, so I stayed back in my dorm room with Kate. She was busy doing her assignment, and then she came and sat on my bed. Her face looked worried, and she said that she found my sister very suspicious, and I should go and get checked as to why I had been getting such bad headaches since our first day of college. She also suggested I talk to her about the issues and why she is always trying to put me down in front of everyone. I shrugged off her and told her it's normal between sisters, and Kate replied with a big no. She told me how she even refused to wake me up in the morning, and that's how I got late every time. Something inside me clicked because when I asked July, she told me it was because I was sick and she loved me, and why would she try to pinch at me? Maybe Kate is trying to create a barrier between us, but that doesn't change the fact that she is indeed very weird and narcissistic these days. I'm so confused, as you can read in my post. Any suggestions and advice are appreciated. My sister's behavior is indeed very suspicious, but I really don't know if this is just a harmless dig or if she has an underlying motive behind it. Wow, that doesn't sound like very sisterly behavior. It sounds like she didn't want to go to the same school as you. Maybe she wanted to do something different but felt forced to go with you as the two of you are twins. Maybe she feels like she's missing out on her own individuality. But all of that doesn't excuse how she's treating you. Not only that, but I can't help but think that maybe she's the one causing you to have all these headaches. Update 1. Thank you everyone for your sweet words, suggestions, and appreciation. I took your guys' advice seriously and got my headache checked, and I have something shocking to disclose to you guys. I went to see the doctor with Kate, and they did some tests and asked me if I had been taking sleeping pills for months. I have also had ulcers in my mouth due to drug toxicity in my blood, and I told them that it's odd because I have never touched sleeping pills in my life. I looked towards Kate, and she looked terrified. The doctor gave me a prescription, and we left the clinic. On our way to the dorm, I had a huge argument with Kate because she said something very odd and cruel, and I could never believe that. She told me that she found July suspicious, and that she might be the one adding sleeping pills to my food because she is the one who cooks in the dorm for me. I got so angry. Why would my sister do that? And for a moment I thought it was Kate, but something inside of me believed it. Yesterday again, July cooked me food, and I refused to eat and told her I would have it after some time. She left the dorm to hang out with her friends, and I threw the food in the washroom and flushed it out. I looked at Kate and gave her a sign, which meant that I was really going to listen to her this time, and then I went back to bed today. I couldn't sleep at all, which was the biggest sign. I was taking turns and couldn't sleep. Usually, I used to drift right after dinner and wake up remembering nothing, but today I couldn't sleep, and I saw July come in. I closed my eyes and laid back. I saw her taking the assignment out of my bag and giving it to someone who was standing behind the door. I didn't know who it was, and I kept lying there. After a while, she came in and hovered above me to check whether I was sleeping or not, and then she went back to her bed. I stood up for the whole night and felt nauseous. My headache was normal in the morning, but my mouth was dry and I felt terrible. July was shocked and asked me how I woke up this early today. I looked at her and asked why can't I wake up early today? I knew she had given my assignment to someone, but it was hard to believe that she was adding something to my food. Kate texted me and asked me to meet her in the cafe during the football match. We all headed for our classroom, and July told me that she was dating Jacob. I was shocked and happy because, at that time, I didn't know how to react at all. I opened my bag and acted worried in front of her after seeing that my assignment was missing. She looked at me, offered help, and acted all worried. I wanted to confront her right there. I could have even confronted her in the night as well, but I wanted to catch her red-handed. Now that I know that she was the one mixing my food with sleeping pills, I wanted to catch her in the act. At first, I thought of telling Mom and Dad, but that would be a bad idea because it would be unbelievable for them. I'm scratching my head to find out a way to catch her, expose her red-handed, but I'm just not able to find any. Meanwhile, July didn't stop there. She continued making fun of me in front of the whole class. Just today, my friend Jack told me that there was a rumor about me going on the college meme page. When he showed me the memes, tears rolled down my cheeks after reading them. The article said that the reason why I'm getting mouth ulcers and blisters is because I have multiple intimate relationships with homeless people, and that's how I earn money. The username was Hello Kitty. I looked at the article, and something switched in me. I realized it could definitely be July because she was obsessed with Hello Kitty, and everything started to connect dots by dots. I'm just so heartbroken after seeing that. I'm barely able to breathe. All I want is just to expose her. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, OP. It's hard to believe that someone so close to you, especially an identical sister, can do something so horrendous to you. What she's doing is scary. This is something that could potentially be fatal. You need to distance yourself from her, and you need to do it fast. It's a good thing Kate felt something was off with your sister. She sounds like someone who will support you through this. It might be best to turn to her for some help in exposing July's true character. Update 2. 1 month since the last update. I got busy with my college semester exams, so I couldn't update you guys. I want to thank all of you for your kindness and texts asking me if I am good. Yes, I am, and I have many details to share. After the post, I met Kate, and we decided on a plan to catch July red-handedly and also collect the evidence so that she couldn't deny us. Kate set a camera in the kitchen. After that sleeplessness, when I figured out that July was mixing pills in my food, I stopped eating the food from her hand. Kate is vegan, so she had her lunch and dinner in the vegan cafe usually. I told July that I'm turning vegan and would have my food with Kate. But that evening when Kate placed the camera in the kitchen, I told July that I wanted to have some non-veg and if she could cook for me. The next was our last exam, and July loved the idea of cooking for me with sleeping pills so that I could miss my exams. She readily said yes. After the dinner was cooked and the dishes were placed on the table, Kate went inside the kitchen and brought back her phone, which she had hidden. July was sitting right in front of us. Kate sat next to her and played the video, and what I saw made me throw up. The girl with whom I spent my whole childhood, my own blood, was adding something to my food. July sat there like a statue, tears rolling down her cheeks. It felt fake, and I felt hatred towards her. "Why do you do that to me?" I asked her, sobbing hard. I couldn't hold back my tears. July said that she hated me because Mom and Dad forcefully asked her to join a business course with me because I was enthusiastic about it. July wanted to get admission to the art school, but my parents thought business administration would be better for us. Not that they were very adamant about it. I'm sure if she expressed her displeasure about the college openly, they would have gotten her into the arts college, but she never talked about it. I remember she used to say that she wanted to pursue something in arts during our school days, but when the time came for college, I told my parents about my interest in business. If she was so against it, she could have pushed back. She said our parents never asked her about her choice, and saying no to them would make her bad in front of them. I told her that's not the reason to literally add some crap to your sister's food. It's basically an attempt to murder. I asked her about the social media post, and she admitted to it. She says he purposely made fun of me in front of everyone. She wanted to torture me because she felt tortured in studying for this college. I asked her to leave the dorm, or I would send the video to Mom and Dad. The next morning, July left the dorm, and it was just me and Kate. Kate took care of me very nicely, but my mental health is degrading day by day. My last exam went crappy because of that. I couldn't get a hold of my thoughts. Even my previous exams were no better because I just used to think about how July has been tormenting me. July tried contacting me and pleaded with me for forgiveness, but the way she has humiliated me, I'm just not able to forgive her. I don't know what I should do next. Should I just forgive her? Kate is dead against the idea of forgiving her. She says if July was her sister, she would have her reported to the college authorities or even to the police. Honestly, if something went wrong, she could have killed you, OP. It's probably best to keep your distance from her and reveal what she did to your parents. What she did to you is inexcusable. It's horrific. How can a person behave so monstrously? She's a grown woman who is responsible for her own life and the choices she makes. If she didn't want to go to business school, she could have easily said no. Yeah, maybe your parents wouldn't have really been too happy about it, but how would they have felt when one of their daughters was murdered? Update 3. I used to think that Kate was just too extreme because she didn't have any siblings. She didn't know how it was to fight with them and reconcile in the next moment. Kate always stopped me from forgiving her and told me that July didn't care at all and she was just pretending. But Kate was right. She knew how to set your boundary, which I didn't understand, and let July cross it. While I was still contemplating whether to forgive her or not, July gave me a reason not to. It happened during our college party. By the way, Jack and I have been dating for a month now. I haven't told him anything about the ongoing issue between me and July. For the party, I wore this sparkly red dress. Jack picked me up in his car, and we drove to the club where the party was going on. I went inside, and we had a few drinks and made out on the sofa in front of everyone. It was fun and embracing. Kate called me and introduced me to her school friends, and we were laughing and having our moment. When I was busy talking with Kate's friend, I found Jack was not around. I thought he was hanging out with the other friends, so I didn't make a fuss and continued enjoying with Kat and other friends. After a while, Cassie came and looked at me shockingly. Her exact words were, "Wait, you're here, but I literally saw you with Jack a moment ago." She was pretty drunk, and then Kate and I exchanged looks, and I knew who it was. I immediately went to the spot where Cassie told me she saw me, and before I reached there, July was leaving the party. She did whatever she had to. She was wearing the same dress as me and was busy making out with my boyfriend. I was so angry, and how could my boyfriend not recognize me? It is as stupid as it sounds. Right there, I broke up with Jack and left the party. Kate also followed me to the dorm. I felt bad for ruining her mood and asked her to stay and enjoy the party, but she rather chose to comfort me. I knew I had to tell my parents about this because her evilness crossed all limits. If she could dress up as me and make out with my boyfriend, she could do any crime and then frame me. She was an imposter. But exposing her in front of my parents was not enough. I wanted to hurt her and humiliate her in the same way she did to me. So, July was dating Jacob, the guy I sat with in French class, remember? Though there was a rumor that she was sleeping with many, she was officially seen with him. So, before I exposed her to our parents, I sent the video of July mixing my food with sleeping pills to Jacob. I also told him about the party incident that July dressed up as me and made out with my boyfriend. He immediately came down to my dorm and insisted on meeting me. Kat and I went to meet him and narrated to him the entire story that has been happening throughout this semester. He was shocked to know how criminal-minded July was. He checked with the other boys regarding July making out with my boyfriend, and everyone confirmed. The next I knew was Jacob went to July's dorm and broke up with her, calling her names in front of all of his friends. Yes, she tried to unleash her anger on me by sending me abusive messages and voicemails. Meanwhile, Kate made a meme page naming it Revenge on Hello Kitty and posted that same of July poisoning my food on the college page. That video became viral amongst the students in no time. July was confused about which way she would defend because she was attacked from all ends. My last blow was telling my parents about all this. I sent them the video as well as the confession recordings. Yes, Kate recorded all of the conversations we had with July on that night when we caught her. She is such a doll, I know. The next morning while I was asleep, Mom and Dad came to my room. I showed them everything. They called July to my room. They didn't tell her that they knew everything. When she arrived, my parents confronted her. She turned defensive and told them that I posted that video on the college group as well. My father asked me to delete the video and did that immediately. When my parents asked her why she tried to poison me, she turned abusive and called me a manipulative witch. My mom was so angry that she slapped her in the face and took her from the college. I have never, ever been happier. I don't miss her anymore because she had made my college life a living hell, and I am glad she is out of my life. She is currently living with our parents, and Mom says that they will admit her to art school in the next session. She would lose a year and would be behind her friends, but she deserves that. We are not on talking terms, and I think that it will take years for the scars to heal, if at all. It's still odd that your parents are admitting her to art school even after she could have killed you. Honestly, she should have suffered a worse fate. But I'm glad you're okay, OP. We all are. And Kate is a keeper. She's worth keeping around. What do you make of this? What would you have done if you had found out that your sibling was secretly poisoning you? Thank you for following along today in the rLounge. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to share regarding today's content, we want to hear it. Bye for now.